Hey guys, how are you? A few days ago I finished reading Every Day by David Levithan, and I guess today would be my review. So can we just take a minute just to appreciate how pretty this cover is? Look at it, it's so nice, and it wraps the whole way around, and it's like a window looking out in clouds and there's people floating in the clouds. It's just, I don't have any other cover like this, I don't think. Does anybody else do that? I feel like other people should do that too, smell a book. I don't think enough people smell their books. Appreciate it. Because one day they will get old and smelly. Okay, so review. I have read two other books by David Levithan, which are Dash and Lily's Book of Dares and Will Grayson, both of which he co-wrote with Dash and Lily Book of Dares. He co-wrote with Rachel Cohn, and this one he co-wrote with John Green. So I did enjoy these two books, but I was excited to read a book which he had written by himself. So just a little bit about the book. Just on the back it says, "Every day I am someone else. I am myself. I know I am myself, but I am also somebody else. Someone else. It has always been like this." So that's really interesting, and I think that's what grabbed me the most about this book and why I got it. And then on the front it just says, "Every day a different body, every day a different life, every day in love with the same girls." So obviously it's going to be a love story. The main character in this, A, wakes up every day in a different person's body, and the only factor that is the same is the age. So in this book it has actually, instead of chapter 1 and chapter 2 and all that, the start of each chapter has days. It starts on day 5994, which means A is about 16. Yeah, he's about 16, so he wakes up in other kids' bodies that are 16 as well. And eye colour, hair colour, gender, body type, all that changes except for the age. So the main character, A, is neither male nor female, but I think in my head A was always male even when he was female, if that makes sense. But just for the purposes of this video I'm just going to refer to A as he, because like I said, that's how I envisioned it in my head. When A wakes up each day he can access the bodies that he's in. He can access their memories and facts about them and find out what he must do that day. And for the most part A doesn't interfere with their daily lives. He goes to school, he does whatever they have to do, any chores or anything, and yeah, for the most part he doesn't really interfere. That is, of course, until he is in the body of Justin, who is a 16-year-old boy and has a girlfriend named Rhiannon. Rhiannon is the love of A's life. This is where it kind of annoyed me. I don't really like when it's instant love like that. I mean, A can only spend one day in each person's body, and suddenly now he is in love with Rhiannon, which is a bit weird. But he spends one day with her. He can tell that Justin doesn't really treat her right and doesn't really not care about her, but he doesn't appreciate her. So he brings her to the beach and they spend all day together, and then obviously at 12 o'clock midnight he must leave the body and go to someone else. He finds that he can't stop thinking about Rhiannon. He's using their bodies to go see Rhiannon and to talk to her, and then eventually he does explain what he is, and he proves it to her by visiting her numerous times in different people's bodies and telling her things that only he would have known while he was in Justin's body. So that's quite interesting, and eventually she does believe him and they do try to see each other, and that's kind of where the story is, just about them trying to work things out. At the end of the book I was left with some serious unanswered questions, which usually would really annoy me, but it didn't so much in this one for some reason. I don't know. I think it might be he did leave it open for a second book, and I know lots of people are saying they would not like to see a second book because this one was primarily based on A's and Rhiannon's relationship, which does make sense, but I personally would love to see a second book because I would like the questions answered. One of the things I was left questioning was definitely what makes a person, if this makes sense. I don't know if it will or not, if it was just me. Here we have our main character A, who is not a male, is not a female, is not fat, is not skinny, is not popular, is not unpopular. There's so many things that A is and isn't at the same time, so we literally just have his inner monologue to go by. All while he's in all these different characters that are all so different to each other, he remains the same and is such a strong character and is constant like in what he's doing. So yeah, it definitely kind of made me question that. Overall, I know a lot of people did not enjoy this book, and this has been a really bad review. I actually don't know how I feel about it. It was a good book, but I don't know if I loved it or not, if you know what I mean. It's definitely one that I would recommend reading it just to find out other people's opinions on it. So if you're thinking about getting it, I definitely would. It was an interesting book to read. The author did definitely leave the ending. I'm not going to say anything, don't worry, I wouldn't spoil the book, but he definitely did leave it open for a second book, which I would love because I just want to know the answers to all my questions. I have so many questions. I'm sorry this was such a bad review. I can't give a definite I love it or I hate it because I don't know. Do you know when you just read a book and you don't know how you feel about it yet? And I think it's definitely going to need some time to sink in, and it's definitely what I'm going to have to think about and come up with conclusions for it then, because at the moment I just don't know. But it was a good book. I would definitely recommend getting it. So yeah, that's my review. Yeah, this was actually my first ever review, like besides recommending books to people in person or other friends. This was my first proper review, and I will have a more detailed written one up on the blog. So I'll link the blog and the review down below. I'll also put our Facebook page, and yeah, feel free to subscribe to the page, give this video a thumbs up if you thought my review was good. Yeah, so leave a comment down below, let me know if you have read it, what you thought of it, and hopefully, maybe we could come up with some answers. Let me know what you thought. That's it, I think. It's a panda with buttons for eyes. That is just so cute, I can hardly eat it. Nom 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 nom.